We're going to hop into doing copying post IDs to transfer social proof and why you want to do that. So I have open here for all you lovely people. I have a lead campaign for Luna Rider. Luna Rider is my fiction pen name. That is a very quirky fantasy brand. You'll be hearing a lot about it in the course because I have a live Kickstarter for it as well. You notice that they have the same runtime, same period, same goals. Like these are intentionally set up to serve as a case study for me, comparing what's working for one versus the other. So we're working inside this Luna Rider brand today, and you can see this is my live dashboard, and I'm working on the Luna newsletter leads. So this is my favorite type of ad with the new Andromeda algorithm. If you attended my talk at Author Nation in Vegas about the Facebook ads data cycle, I really heavily plugged how lead ads are kind of the cheapest and best way to train your account, because with lead ads, Facebook is tracking via your pixel when somebody enters their email and signs up for your free book lead magnet, your newsletter, whatever. Like they know that person has given you an email and they're marking them as a lead. So I will cover in the course how to set up your pixel on BookFunnel or your website if you're doing lead ads. It's a little bit different. Lead ads are also how we track pre-launch followers on Kickstarter, so we're going to get really deep into that. But lead ads are my favorite type of ads because they are less expensive than sales conversion ads, and they are more accurate than traffic ads, because when you're running an ad to your page on Amazon for a book in Kindle Unlimited, even if the person goes on and buys your book or downloads your book for page reads, Facebook doesn't know that happened. Facebook's job is done when somebody clicks the link, if you're optimizing for link views. If you're optimizing for the new landing page view, LPV objective, Facebook considers their job done when they click on the link, the page loads, and they stay for a few seconds. They do not know and thus do not care if somebody took the desired action for you, which is getting the book. Their job is done earlier than that. They don't have that data. But with lead ads, Facebook's job is not done until somebody gives you that email address, which is why it's so powerful, because I know for me, as a frequent clicker on ads, that I don't give my email address out very willingly. I have to be really high intent. I have to be super interested enough to make my inbox more crazy than it already is. So it's just a much more self-selected group, and you can get leads for like a quarter or less. Versus sales can cost $50 to get a sale, depending on how you're doing things. So you can get so many more leads in the same amount of budget. And since Facebook now learns on the account level, I am using my lead ads as part of a larger strategy. So I have traffic ads to my Patreon, traffic ads for Kindle Unlimited, and then I have conversion ads here. And yes, you can see my ROAS is not super strong. It is improving. And this is something we're going to talk about in the course too, because I don't hide my mistakes. I think they're the best lessons. The biggest mistake I have made on my two current Kickstarter campaigns is setting them up and then going to a conference for 8 days and not checking them. That was really bad. I had not great ROI. So this is showing you the maximum period, and I've been in recovery. So you can see that I have been, the ROAS is rising. So it's something I'm working on, and I'll show you how to recover from a bad start, which is a great lesson. That was so smart of me to accidentally make a huge public mistake so I can teach you guys how to unmake it. But right now we are working on lead ads and how to copy post IDs. So all of that flavor lesson, that was just bonus that I just did because I like to improv. So hopefully that added lesson is helpful. That's not what the video was supposed to be about. What the video is about is copying post IDs to get social proof and why you'd want to do that. So here we can see I have a number of different audiences. It kind of gives you insight into how I'm targeting things. And you can see the various costs per lead. That's the cost per email I'm getting. And then you can see the rates per result. So people clicking, they are high intent. Like, so they're not even, there's more than a 1 in 2 chance that once they click and see my BookFunnel page that they will enter their email. So those are really good rates. You can also see that I have learning limited. So that's like kind of a death flag. So I think I just turned these back on. I'm going to turn them off again. Learning limited, we need to try again. It doesn't have enough data to optimize. That's really important with pixel ads. So if you hit learning limited, you just need to try something new. And if we look at, I was looking at maximum, I'm going to switch us to this month. My lead cost is rising. It was 19 cents for a while, and now we're up to 31 cents. You can see these two that went into learning limited that I flipped back on, they were really high cost per lead, and then they went into learning limited. So Facebook's like, we don't know what to do with this. We can't get you good results. I just turned this audience back on to see if it has new life in it. And my main audience is Luna's warm audience. This is retargeting, which we'll cover in depth in the course. This is my page engagement audience. These are people clicking on my traffic ads. I'm retargeting them with a free newsletter lead magnet offer. And the way I do my lead magnet is I don't do just here's one free book for signing up, thanks. I do you get a free short story every month. It's about 3,000 words each, and they're connected but standalone within my shared fantasy universe. So when a new reader signs up, they go into an automation where they get all the previous stories one a week. So they have to keep opening and engaging, and I really have them on the hook. It's more likely that they're going to read the lead magnet rather than download and forget, because it's just a short thing that pops in their inbox. And this has been a really good strategy for me because it means I have high engagement on my newsletters, and that people can immediately start reading and fall in love with the world. And since it all connects, when I retarget them, because I then retarget these people with my sales ads, I just progressively increase the offer. And so that has been a big part of how I can make my very, very weird, not to market, not to easiest best practices for selling or marketing. I've created a huge challenge in what I've decided to do with fantasy by doing it so differently. So I have to be really strategic about how I lay everything out. So this newsletter leads ad is a really important part of my funnel and of getting people who are casual clickers on my Patreon or Kindle Unlimited into my newsletter list. They become higher value retargeting options for my sales ads. Like, it's a really, really important piece of how my ads ecosystem works. So I want to create a new audience. This is a great way to use post IDs. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll retarget a warm audience. Let's say I'm doing a book launch for myself or a client. I will retarget people who have clicked, people on their newsletter, people who have purchased, anybody who already might know who they are or has shown interest once. I call that a warm audience. So I will start with just a warm audience, and I will serve the ad, and then maybe the person's already signed up, maybe the person's already bought the book, whatever. They might leave a comment about how much they love it. That's the goal. Warm ads work really well, the retargeting, because maybe they haven't signed up yet, but now that they see it, they're reminded, they already knew who I am. They're more likely to take that action. And even if they've already taken the desired action, a lot of times they will leave a nice comment, and that's going to help convince people who have never heard of me before. So that is the primary reason you want to use post IDs, is so that you can continue to scale out. So if you start with your retargeting audience and then you copy the post ID and you maybe do like a smaller niche down audience, like maybe fantasy books in the Kindle store, which is like 3 million-ish in size. That's kind of small. So we maybe go there. The ad will get even more social proof from that audience, and we keep going broader and broader and broader, but we never lose the likes, comments, and reactions, so that when readers who are further out of our main audience see the ad, they'll see how many people are responding favorably to it, and that will help them convert. So hopefully that all makes sense. What I'm going to do now is I am going to create a new audience. So usually when I create a new I'm just gonna do it. I like to duplicate to save time. So I'm gonna duplicate D&D and ebooks here. And then you get a mini bonus within the bonus of how I set up targeting, because apparently that's what I want to do right now. And I just do whatever I feel like when I get on the camera. So this is a new audience. Who are we going to target? Who might like my books? I kind of want to start getting people outside of the US. So I am going to target the United Kingdom, Australia, in Canada, and New Zealand. So this is one of my favorite pivots as well when you have the pixel, is adding in the other English speaking countries that are not the US. So I've added them in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the audience. I believe I have them speaking English. Ah. Yes, they're speaking English. Cool. It's important because my books are in English and I do not let Facebook auto translate for me. So here we're targeting women. I'll let that go. Like sometimes I also let my fantasy come to men. A lot of my readers are Gen Z men, but generally the ads to women convert better. So that's another thing I'll play with, is widening the gender. Obviously, depending on the genre you write, you might not want to do that. And then I have 25 to 65 plus. I'm gonna collapse this a little bit, and I'm gonna avoid my desire to go into another lesson within a lesson within a lesson and show you how I get this information. Suffice it to say, I know my core audience is between the age of 25 and 44. And I am turning 41 in a couple of days, so I'm getting closer and closer to aging out of my own audience. But this has been very interesting, and I've learned a lot from my fantasy brand because my core demographic for my cozy mystery and romances is 65 plus. And honestly, if there was an 80 plus, that's who I would target for those books. So to have this younger Gen Z and millennial audience, it's very different. And that's part of why I've been able to keep up with the changes with Meta, because I have a more adaptive younger audience now. So I'm going to target women, yeah, I'm still going to target only women. My next time I decide to expand and copy post IDs, I'll add men in. And who am I going to target? You can see this is a Dungeons and Dragons plus ebooks. And the thing about targeting outside of the US is the audience gets fairly small. This is below 1 million. That is not ideal. I'm really aiming for 5 to 10 million as a good audience size, which means I need to be less restricted. So what I'm going to try to do, I don't want to target only Dungeons and Dragons because this is an ad for my book, not my Dungeons and Dragons campaign, which is a thing I have, but not what I'm advertising here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in fantasy books because I know that's a bang on target. And we're going to see how big it is. It's still pretty small. So a next pivot could be fiction books, which broadens it even more. But I'm going to let it be smaller and we're just going to see what happens. So especially when you're advertising outside of the US, it's just hard to get those audience big. I'll just add in men. That'll help, especially for fantasy. So this is a double size audience. That makes sense because, more gender included. So doing all includes men, women, and people with undefined or other genders as well, which is a big readership for me because I write LGBTQ friendly books. So having both in there, it works for me. Now I have Advantage Plus placements on because this is an ad with the pixel. So because it's using the pixel, Facebook will eliminate placements that aren't working well. So if they see Threads doesn't like my stuff, they'll stop sending it to Threads. They are going to focus on getting those newsletter signups. So I can trust all of the placements. I can let Advantage Plus to its heart's desire, so long as it doesn't represent my brand in a way that I'm not comfortable with. And so for placements, I'm good. So we're going to call this Fantasy Books. And then I do ENG for that. I'm targeting English speaking countries minus the US. And you can see inside, I already have a post ID copied in because I've done this many times, but I'm going to do this from scratch. Goodbye ad. And I'm going to help myself out by having a second tab open so I can refer to my previous ads. So we are going to grab the post ID from Luna's Warm Audience, and we're going to get copy number 1, book funnel. That's what that stands for in my language. Tolkien made like whole languages for different races of creatures. My language is just how I talk to my ads, and I'm the only one who speaks it, but it's cool. Now you guys can visit now that you know the lingo. So I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm starting to go on autopilot because this is a task I do so much, but I want to slow it down because this is the whole point of the lesson. How do you copy post IDs? Well, I am inside my ads and I have the ad I want to copy. You can see it has a lot of leads attached. It's probably going to have a lot of social proof attached as well. I'll show you. I click edit, and if we scroll down, we can see, come on, baby. So we have 29 comments, 16 shares, and different things. I don't know what the laugh is. It's a little bit offensive to me, but it's cool. My books are funny. Thank you for laughing at my ad. So now I'm going to come over to the right and I'm going to click this see all previews and sharing and see post, Facebook post with comments. I'm going to click that and it will open in a new tab. And here is the ad itself. So my assistant has been helpfully commenting as me. I don't know what I would do without her. These are all positive comments. If there is a negative comment, she deletes and blocks. If it's a negative comment with a chance to like answer an objection or say something that would help improve the ad, we leave it and we respond in a very targeted way to like maybe other people are thinking this. So if we answer it and leave it there, it's good. But we always delete hate comments, which I do get because I have LGBTQ and autistic representation. Sometimes I get some really horrible comments. Those are gone. But here's the post. And on mobile, this is a perfect full screen view because I'm looking at it on desktop. It's adding white space on the edge. But somebody seeing it organically would probably see it cropped into a square, kind of like that. So that's another thing that we're going to go really deep into is the different resizing Facebook does and how you can design your ads for the optimal cropping that you can't control. So you kind of make like a dummy proof ad image so that Facebook can't destroy it. But that is for next time. This time, what we're going to do is we're going to come up into the menu bar here. And this, after post, this number here, that is the post ID. So I'm on a Mac, so I hit Command C. If you're on a PC, you can hit Control C, or you can just do copy by right clicking and hitting copy. And now that I have that, I am going to come in here. I'm going to create an ad. And I always say if I'm using the post ID, and you'll see why in a second. I'm just going to call this class example because I don't remember my current naming convention for things. I'll fix it later. The language only I speak, I've forgotten. It's a dead language now. So we can see here that it wants me to create a new ad. So it's wide open. It wants people to be able to call me. This is something that it likes to turn on automatically, and you definitely want to turn off unless you want people to call you, which why would you want such a horrible thing? Too many writers are introverts. Why would we want people to call us? But what you can do under create ad is use existing post. You might also see boost post here. They're testing, changing how it's referred to, but it is the same. It is the same thing. It is not a post boost. It is not an engagement objective. This is going to be whatever objective you have set at the campaign and ad set level. Even if you see the boost post language, it's okay. You can do it. So you're going to click that. And then you can select posts. So if you want to get clicks to something that has been on your page, you can select it through here, or you can drop in the post ID. So I'm going to drop in the post ID where it says enter post ID. Click that, and the thing we copy pasted goes in the box. Boom. And you can see this whole ad with all of its proof. Even though it's a brand new ad, it's porting over all that information so that new people who are seeing it for the first time see all this love it's already received, and they're more likely to take the action. And as I scroll down, you can see that I cannot edit the ad because the ad already exists. So I can't change anything, apparently, unless I want to turn on this creative feature. Otherwise, it's grayed out. I can't change it. Something we'll be talking about in the course because I cannot resist when I see the shiny. This is a really new thing it's trying to get me to add. That's probably why they're allowing it to be added on a post ID. This is called personas, and this is what Meta wants. So if you follow me on my profile, you'll see me. You may have seen me talking about my Hope Punk persona. Um, it's so important to Meta that they've created a feature uh, that uses personas. So it's not explaining a lot of what it's doing, but there's a lot more to come on that. And that's why I'm recording the course in the month of December because this is new. This is a new thing Meta now wants, and it's changing so fast. So my guarantee with the course for Kickstarter is that you're going to have the most up to the minute, or at least up to the day information for 3 whole months, which will be a lot of work for me because 6 million things change every week, and you're going to know about them in the least overwhelming way I can teach you. And for the official course, it will be much more structured and I will stay on topic. I like these mini courses and lives and all of my tangents because I think my tangents are the best lessons, not the thing I'm supposed to be teaching. So hopefully you guys agree and you'll like that, but I do promise you that the structured course will stay on topic. But there we have it. Like, we have done the job of copying the post ID and bringing the social proof over. We know that we want to do that to share social proof and so that we can broaden our reach, starting with a really narrow retargeting campaign and then having like a small, like 1 million or less, really great niche audience, and then just making it bigger and bigger and bigger and broader and broader and broader to get that ad to more people. And as we get further away from our easiest wins, our core audience, our existing fans, they're going to be more likely to convert because of all that social proof you keep bringing back every time you start a new ad. That is my lesson on post IDs. I hope it was helpful. Again, I'm sorry for all the tangents. It's just because I'm so excited about all the things I can teach you. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Kickstarter. Remember to head over there, and I will have the replay up shortly with the notes. I would love for you to comment there to help feed the Kickstarter algorithm so more and more people find the campaign. And if you have other author friends you want to share it with, hit me up for a leaderboard link so you can compete for those prizes I mentioned. Thank you guys. I will now officially say goodbye, and you've already unlocked the next mini lesson, so look for that next week.